It's Bly.
Is Bly actually going to build a hatchery at his natural? There's no way. No, he's not. He's going gas first. All right. His opponent in the top right-hand side in the red, representing the Terran race. His name is Ziggy. Rock and roll. So, Grant, we do see a gas into pool for Bly. Grant, can you use your incredible StarCraft 2 game knowledge and tell me a little bit about what a gas into pool means for Bly's opponent?
Yeah, so Bly has a couple of options. Of course, having all this extra gas so early means he could be going for very early Roach Warren, or he could just be getting as quick ling speed as possible. One thing Bly has to be aware of, and I can guarantee you he's done his research, is that almost every time Ziggy has played this map against Zerg, he's gone 3-racked Reaper. And that is exactly what we're seeing once again here from the Polish Terran player. So Bly just prepared for it, getting that very early pull. He's going to have Queens out exceptionally early. I imagine we will see either a Roach Warren. I imagine it will be speed. I think Bly's going to try and handle this with Ling speed. He is now pulling out a gas, so that is going to be the case. We'll see Ling speed start off right this second. And Bly just setting up well to deal with the pressure that is coming early from Ziggy.
What a cerebral analysis from Grant of a cerebral play from Bly. As you said, Ziggy has done this every single time against Zerg on this map, and honestly, I'm a little surprised he's not changing it up. I believe Bly and Ziggy both had yesterday off, if memory serves me correctly. I don't believe they played games yesterday, which should mean that they've each had about 48 hours since their previous DreamHack bout to see what their opponent's up to watch the tape, to study the film, and honestly, it's a little surprising to see Ziggy going for such a predictable play here in the very first game. I'm honestly a little bit disappointed, Grant. Ziggy is a player who is already practically eliminated from this event. Of course, he's at 0-4 in his group right now, meaning he would have to win all 3 of his next series and hope for some sort of weird group stage malarkey to get through the bracket. So he desperately needs these wins. But remember, even if he loses his even if he was 0-6 right now, he would still be fighting for this win, because every single match win at DreamHack EU Regionals Winter is $125 in his pocket. So the Reapers are out now. How does Bly's defense look to you, Grant?
Yeah, so far so good. He's keeping a lot of Lings on the high ground in case the Reapers try to jump up, but he already has 2 and seems to be a 3rd Queen. And as long as Bly doesn't at any point overextend with his Queens or get them caught without Lings to back up if needs be, then he should be completely fine here so far. I mean, you can see the Reaper number is getting a little bit high, but Bly has got a good amount of Lings now, looking for that surround opportunity, and he's going to go for it. Great, and very nice Reaper grenades here from Ziggy.
Yeah, impressive stuff here, and that's the real danger of these Lings. Oh man, what control. Okay. One finally does go down here, but only 2 of these Reapers. Oh yeah, only 2 of these Reapers damaged a little bit. He's going to try and look for an opportunity to get up in the main base here, but great rotations from Bly, who seems to see this coming, knows what Ziggy's going to do before he even does it, and so far, a spectacular defense. But look back home for Ziggy. We've got Command Center on the low ground and an early 3rd CC. A slight change-up, right, Grant?
Yeah, every time he's done this so far, he's been going into a big bio push. Straight off the back of that, he's not been really going 3cc, especially at this speed. But we do see behind this Bly is going Lair. Bly has a bunch of Lings out catching the reinforcements right now in the middle of the map. Doesn't look like he's been able to pick up too many kills here, but certainly a good start to the game here for the Ukrainian. But the Reaper number is getting pretty out of hand now. 11 Reapers, there's only 4 Queens and 17 Lings. There's a full wall off at home here for Ziggy. I'm starting to worry a little bit. Bly is making 8 more Lings. He now has 4 Queens in position, but he needs to be very careful, because one misstep, one misplay, and he's going to lose a whole bunch of stuff.
Man, this reminds me always, when you go Mass Reaper like this, I'm always reminded of a ZVP when the Protoss player goes for an early Glaive to Depth push, where, like, yes, it's scary from the beginning, right? And you're like, oh man, 2 or 3 of these units can ruin my whole day. But if the pressure continues in the same vein, it's just dangerous, because the units are very mobile. They're all over the map, and the pressure continues, and you've got to stay on top of it for the next 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes if the pressure continues. As you said, one misstep from Bly, and this game all but over. Grant, Bly seems to be going for something a little unorthodox, though, to follow this up.
Yeah, I like the choice of the Spire here. Ziggy is going 3cc, of course. I don't know if Bly had the opportunity to see that. Let's take a look.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, he did. So, okay, so Spire the best way to punish this, because there isn't going to be that much on the ground. My main concern for Bly is he was floating a lot of money for a while and he didn't make any more queens. And I kind of think Ziggy could have took a fight. He was sitting at 13 Reapers. And with good Reaper grenades, he could have bounced the queens around, really limiting the amount of DPS they did. The Lings aren't going to get a wrap around when you have 13 Reapers with grenades.
Yeah, right.
I like what Ziggy's doing here. He is starting to transition at a very healthy time. No damage was done, no damage was taken. And as we said, he went for that very, very, very economical play. As long as he doesn't get absolutely rinsed by the 6 or so mutas that are about to pop, I think he's in an alright spot here.
Can I just say, Grant, that absolutely rinsed is one of my favorite Britishisms of all time. It's a fan. I don't know why it tickles me so much, because it's not like pip pip cheerio that just is like traditionally British and everything. But rinsed is something you don't hear a lot in America, and I just love it. And you're absolutely correct. Ziggy's got to prevent himself from getting hit very hard, but if he can, as you said, third base already finished up here. Orbital command in the main. His SCV count looking very healthy here, and despite his low army supply, he does look like he's in a fairly decent spot. Bly, though, is going to show these Mutalisks now. Of course, Ziggy knew they were coming. He scanned that.
This is nice.
Yeah, he scanned that Spire earlier, but he is going to be able to get into the natural here and try and get some damage done.
Yeah, I mean, these Reapers were never going to survive. There's too many Mutlets on the field now. 10 drones on the way. Now gives Ziggy an almost 20 SCV lead, plus mules. Behind this, he already has 9 Marines. He's got a couple of Vikings, which I don't hate, just to fight off these mutas if they do get too far forward. He's going to drop some bunkers. Does he have missile turrets? Yeah, he has a few. He has 5.
Yeah.
So he's really safe. There's Widow Mines. There's everything a Terran could ask for in terms of defense here. But Bly is still pretty strong, you know. Bly has got a very good muta count. He's already, and I said he 8 actually. I thought it was like 10 plus. I mean, I kind of like this for Ziggy right now. I think he's put himself into a good position. Bly's still on 2 hatcheries, Creighton.
Still on 2 hatcheries. And Bly's known as a player who can make 2 hatch work. But man, the longer the game goes, the worse things get for Bly. He's still adding on Mutalisks, going for the Baneling Nest as well. Looks like Bly wants to pay Ling Bane Muta. But Grant, you know, there's one resource that doesn't show up on our resource ribbon here for the Zerg player. We can see his workers. We can see his army supply. We can see his minerals. We can see his gas. The thing we can't always see unless we check that unit tab is larva. And if you're going for Ling Bane Muta, larva is one of the most key resources. You've got to have so many larva to crank out a huge number of Lings and Banes. And with the third base for Bly just now going down, there's no macro hatch in the main, which I honestly think would be a good investment for Bly at this point. But going Ling Bane Muta on, basically starting Ling Bane Muta on 2 bases, a very bold play from Bly. Yeah,
definitely. And he is going to start to fall behind a little bit, bit by bit here. These Vikings doing a good job of zoning. They're never going to get many kills. Only 3 SCVs going down there for Ziggy is okay.
Right.
What Ziggy needs to do, though, is has Stim and stuff finished? Stim's finished. I think he's going to wait for combat shield and then push out, because he really does need to now secure his third base. It's been done a long time. Here we go. That's exactly what we're seeing. Good.
Okay. Damn it, Grant, you are such a good StarCraft commentator. I'm amazed sometimes.
Thanks, me too. Yeah, but securing this third, very important. Bly doesn't really have any Banelings. He doesn't have any Banelings on the field.
Yeah.
Centrifugal hooks finishing up soon. But this base is going to go down pretty safely once the splooge has been cleared off here from the third. And yeah, Ziggy, as long as he keeps on top of things, gets some turrets up at this third. He's got missile turrets, he's got tanks, he's got everything. Medevac count, it's good, I was about to say, but he doesn't want to get them caught. Okay, yeah, Ziggy's fine. I mean, he's up in supply in 9 minutes against the Zerg. Really, really good start to the day and to the Ziggy.
Yeah, I gotta point out, Bly has been doing an amazing job with these Mutalisks. You know, one of the biggest factors when you're going Ling Bane Muta is what can you really get done with Mutalisks? There's such a big investment. The Spire takes forever to build. The Mutalisks are 100 each. I mean, he's got, what, 12 Mutalisks on the field? 11 Mutalisks on the field right now? That's 1,100 minerals and gas. And that's an insane investment with 4 more on the way. And if you're like some weaker players, some players who maybe don't have quite as good map awareness, or as good control, those Mutalisks sit back home, maybe defend against the final push, and they're just not a great investment. But Bly, as we've seen, has been able to snipe a Viking here and there, get some pressure on the medevacs, and keep Ziggy honest and say, hey, if you're going to move out, you're going to have to earn it. You got to keep all these units together. I'm going to pick off a sensor tower here, and then I'm just going to get out of here. This is really great control by Bly until the flank from Ziggy happens. What a flank from Ziggy. And oh man, those 11 Mutalisks, with it was 15 Mutalisks now, or it was 15 Mutas, and now it's all the way back down to 10. Ouch.
Yeah, Ziggy should go right now, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Yeah. That was a big pickup The Baneling count currently sitting at only 5. A few Lings going to get in, but reinforcements can deal with them. Even SCVs if push comes to shove. Ziggy, you cannot go back.
Oh, Grant, you've gone. Your noise gate might be a little high. It sounds like you're a little bit crackly. You might want to check your connections as well. But you're absolutely correct. Ziggy moving out here, and Bly is not prepped at all for this. His Baneling count's so low right now. 4 with 6 more on the way. Going to be 10 Banelings against how many? 44. Marines. The Marines have +1/+1. They have combat shields. They have stim. This looks incredible for Ziggy right now, and Bly simply is not prepared, I don't think, without some great big Baneling hits.
Yeah, Ziggy really needs to play this smart now. As long as he keeps his Marine spread, which he's doing a great job of so far, he's going to be able to take these fights and maybe take the game here, which would be a big win for him to start the series off with a 1-0 and hopefully get himself those 125 buckaroos and start his comeback tour here. The muta count is still pretty good. We're looking at 14, but there's only 6 Banelings.
Yeah, the Banelings haven't been effective at all here. Luckily, the tanks did get picked off here. There's only 1 or 2 tanks remaining in Ziggy's push here. 1 tank remaining in Ziggy's push. And that does reduce his zone control a whole lot. And Ziggy, being very brave, moving some of these Marines way away from those tanks. But the Widowmine's in a nice spot at the bottom of the ramp here. And this Queen going to eat a couple tank shots before the Marines push their way up. The Baneling count much healthier now for Bly. But Grant, with even drone production, he's just been so far behind economically this game. He's going to take a really rough fight here with these mutas up front. Ouch.
Yeah, a lot of Baneling just getting sniped to begin with here. We can see the Queen starting to fall as well. Ziggy's playing careful. He is playing a little bit scared. He knows he's in a great position right now. And Banelings are the comeback mechanic. Yeah, that is the comeback right there. Because the tank count is low. A couple of 4s coming in are really nice. Sure, they're going to do damage to the mutas. But more importantly, they're going to stand in front. They're going to be big. They're going to be scary. And they're going to tank a lot of damage. Liberators too. I love it by Ziggy. Just create zoning. Keep your Marines safe, because they are the key to victory right now for Ziggy. Ziggy's up 80 supply crate, and Bly's going to go for it.
He is sweeping in from the left side with Banelings and the right side for mutas, but the mutas are going to get absolutely mutilated in the natural, and that's it. GG. Ziggy, the underdog of this game, is going to come out with a win in game number 1. Oh, man. Grant, we were criticizing, as casters, we were criticizing Ziggy for the entire first 3 minutes of this game. We were like, man, what is he doing? Same build as before. Bly's certainly ready for this. He even went gas into pool, that 15-16, I think it was. Very correct follow-up from Bly. Where did things go wrong? Where did the wheels fall off the wagon for our Zerg player there?
I think I was surprised. Bly went for the Spire. He made like 6 or 7 Mutalisks, but he wasn't able to do anything with them. Ziggy's defense was great, and Ziggy pulled ahead in terms of getting that quick 30C. His SCV count was absolutely incredible, and from there he was just able to just steam forward. Bly could just never get to the stage he needed to, and then when Ziggy caught the mutas, that was the turning point of the game. Ziggy was ahead before that, but that was like the first and the second nail in the coffin there, and it meant, unfortunately for Bly.
You absolute mad lad, you did it. I don't have to manually do it with my voice anymore. Oh, this B-Stream production value has gone just so far high up, Grant.
It's what people do when they're sick, Creighton.
It's pretty impressive. Speaking of Grant, I don't want to make a big deal of it, but we are, of course, all very happy. You're feeling better. You're back. The B-Stream has been wonderful with Steadfast and I, but it's just not quite the same without you, buddy. I'm so glad you're here. Odd choice by Bly in game 1 overall, though. We go in for that Spire before a third base. I think he was playing just a little bit greedy there. Very interesting choices. Now, what we didn't have a chance to talk about is where these players stand in the bracket. I briefly mentioned at the beginning of game number 1 here. Yeah. Ziggy currently sitting at 0-4 in the group. Hasn't won a series yet. So he's not only looking to win this series for the $125 that he wins if you win a series, but also he's got just the slimmest chance of moving forward with a 3-4 record. It happened, I believe, in one group in DreamHack Fall, and it's like almost plausible that he could move forward. Bly, however, who is, again, a very strong player in this group, a very difficult group, but still a very strong player in this group, is currently sitting at 1-3. If he loses this one, he's going to be put in a very awkward position as well. With 4 L's on the board, it's going to be all but impossible for him to even move on from the group stages here in Group A.
And that would be very surprising. The good thing about this group in terms of Ziggy and Bly is that there are 2 players at 5-0, which means the bottom half or the bottom 6 of the bracket is all very close. And if you can win every game from now, you do have a pretty decent shot of getting through. For now though, Creighton, it's not over yet here. Bly still has the opportunity to come back as we move into Romanticide. Let's get into it for map 2.
Excellent. Spawning on the top left-hand side in the blue from Raise Your Edge Gaming and Ukraine, he is Bly, the trickster god of Zerg.
And his opponent in the bottom right, representing Poland, he is the Terran player in the red, leading the series 1-0. The name of my dog, it's Ziggy.
That's really why we chose this match. People are like, oh, you chose Bly versus Ziggy on the B stream because it would be fun, because the players are going to do some wacky builds. No, Grant pretty much was like, it's my dog's name. We're going to take this one. Sorry, A stream. We got this.
He had a haircut today as well.
Your dog did, or Ziggy the player?
Well, I don't know about Ziggy the player. He has really long hair. I feel like he doesn't get it cut that often. But my dog definitely did. And he looked cute. I'll tweet it out, Grant SC2. You can see some pictures of my dog.
Please do. Grant, I'm going to switch to your camera for just one moment to do some admin work in the background. Okay. I'll just have you observe for just a moment here while I update things a little bit. And guys, by the way, when you're viewing, when I click away from StarCraft 2, the frames do drop for some reason. So while I'm doing this admin work, you may notice that there's some minor problems with the frames. I promise it'll be right back to normal here very, very quickly. Apologies for the short interruption in your normal viewing experience. Grant, what are these players up to here at the beginning of the game?
Yeah, so we do see Ziggy once again going for that 2-rack Reaper. Bly not choosing to do anything really crazy and send a drone scout. He's just going to overlord scout and see it coming. We did see that it is a hatch first here from Bly. Hatch gas pool by the looks of things, looking to opt a little bit more standard. Wasn't paying too much attention here, but the hatch is done. The pool now finishing off. We should see 4 lings and a couple of queens start off here. So Bly is opting to do things a little bit differently this game. He now knows it's the same opening. And he's gonna start pumping out queens. I think I prefer this because sure, the first Reaper gets here at a kind of awkward time before the queen is finished, but 4 lings push that away. They've always pushed that away. That's what ZVT openings are. Excuse me. So we see here, lings are gonna have to do a bit of work for about 10 seconds, but as the queen pops out, it's okay. Second queen will probably have to come down from the main after 1 inject, just to make sure everything is okay here. Bly doing a good job of his micro, doesn't want to lose any lings. Very, very important. He saves as many as he can, and already losing 1 here. 1 queen can stand and fight 2 Reapers with lings to force the fighting here. So, is Bly sending his queen down from the main?
Yes, he has. Already down here. As you said, got that 1 inject off and then set it back down. I'm back on my camera, by the way, Grant, so you are off the hook for this observing duty. Don't worry about it. Like I said, I just had to do a little admin work. As you guys know on the B stream here, we don't have some fancy production team in a studio in Sweden anywhere. It is Grant and I in our office and in Grant's bedroom. Just doing everything from there. So thank you guys so much for your understanding. Let's rock and roll on to the rest of this game here. I don't know how I feel about Ziggy going for Mass Reaper again. You know, interestingly, it is working, which is so weird because last game, it didn't do that much. It kept Bly on 2 bases, but it wasn't like he got in to get a bunch of economic damage done, which is kind of what you're looking for with this Reaper push at the beginning of the game, especially when you invest so heavily into the triple barracks back home. It's a huge investment from Ziggy, and to get through with no economic damage done again, as a casual observer commentator, I would normally say, wow, this is a bad start for Ziggy. But last game, he really did make it work. Nice cleanup there, though, from Bly on that second time around.
Yeah, the difference is now Bly can get his third down at a very healthy time. The good thing about this build from Ziggy is it is very, very cheap, and you still have the tools to macro out, albeit a bit later. You can see Ziggy is already starting to move into factory. He's got his second CC down. No very fast third CC here, because he does have to concentrate on defending a little bit. This is a whole bunch of lings, and now Ziggy's lost all map pressure. Bly could do anything he wants. He could go 1 base ultralisk at this point. All right. I mean, he'd have to kill his natural, but I'm all for it, you know?
Yeah, I think that for the style points, for sure. Get to the hive, pop the Ultralisk Cavern down, and then murder out your main, or your natural and your third. Sure. Just straight up for the style points. Now, granted, interesting transition here from Ziggy, different than what we saw last game as well. Last game, we saw him going for that 3rd CC. This time, he's plopping down 2 factories instead. Is this what you're more used to as the follow-up when Ziggy opens with this 3 racks Reaper pressure?
Yeah, he does typically play mech off of the back of it, but he's doing this without any starports at all. Just going straight into as many factories as he can get his little hands on here. We're going to see most likely a whole bunch of tanks and Hellions coming out. I am a little bit concerned that Bly right now is going to be able to completely do what he wants, and there is no way for at least probably 2.5, maybe even 3 minutes that Ziggy can expand. He's going to go to Mass Cyclone mech. Wow, okay. This is a bit different, right? Because he's been playing a more traditional style of mech with Hellbats. Hellions and tanks, and then into 4s. So it's nice to see he does have a good, an assorted bag of tricks. And going to do something a bit different than maybe Bly hasn't been able to scout here.
This is really impressive from Ziggy, honestly. Opening up with the same build twice in a row and then having two very, very different follow-ups, neither of which are the expected follow-up. We talked a little bit, nice catch on those those Reapers, by the way. Nice work by Bly, obviously, who spent the last 2 days watching Ziggy's games and probably thinks he knows what he's ready for, right? So Bly should be preparing to fight against a traditional tank mech style, that sort of turtley Terran stuff where Ziggy can go out, get a later third base, but be able to protect it, turtle up for a long time, build up to a big Terran army, and then push out, which is sort of what we expect to see with a Terran who goes for that tank mech style. But of course, as you said, Ziggy mixing it up, going Cyclone, Hellion. This looks like straight battle mech to me. There's already a hive on the way for Bly. Grant, what does Bly need to do to prep for this battle mech besides scout it, scout it, scout it, which he still has not done?
It's definitely not a hive. It's a lair coming up right now.
Oh my god, sorry, lair. It's the first cast of the day. Give me a break. I'm on my first cup of coffee.
No, it's fine. So Bly's just thrown down 4 more gases. So I'm expecting to probably see a Spire go down alongside the Roaches. So Bly can start to try and get a bit of control. But I like what Ziggy's doing here. As Magfield Accelerator finishes, that will show what is going on here. And as those red lights turn on, the headlights come on here for the Cyclones. Bly should get some idea. And he needs to start producing probably a lot of Roaches, maybe some Ravagers, maybe even Swarm Hosts. If we see a quick Infestation Pit as the lair has finished, I wouldn't be too surprised.
Sure.
Right now, Bly needs to make a lot of units because that 4th base is going to get cancelled. And he needs to make sure he doesn't take any more damage. There's a lot of Queens here. But Magfield Accelerated Cyclones do like insane DPS. Look at those Queens get absolutely smashed. And there's still good front line with all the Reapers here. Oh, a bit of a surround coming in. I think this is okay though. Oh, one Cyclone getting caught. Yeah, this is fine. Ziggy's in a great spot. Once again, he's up in supply. His army's great. He doesn't need upgrades because Cyclones are a spellcaster technically, so they don't scale from them.
Right.
Once again, I like what Ziggy's doing. He's catching his opponents off guard a bit here, being a little trickster himself.
It's so cool to see a player who can sort of out-trickster Bly, which is very rare. It's like when a player goes for a Max Pax build against Max Pax, and you're like, oh, you cheeky bear. You just love to see it. Ling sweeping in here, going to try and put pressure on the natural, maybe catch some reinforcements, but honestly, Ziggy's battle mech style looking very scary here. Now, Bly is finally starting to rotate in. You recommended earlier that he go Roach Ravager, and it sounds like Bly is somehow tuning into the future and listening to this broadcast. He's taking your advice, Grant. A lot of Ravager on the ground. Nice surround with the Ling swinging in from the back here, but they are going to get cleaned up and pushed away, and honestly, Ziggy has not lost that much. Look at the army supply graph, so much higher still for Ziggy than Bly, and this 4th base is going to finish for Bly, but I don't think it's going to live very long, Grant.
Nice, go straight down. This is the benefit of Cyclones. They're so good. And behind us now, more tech labs. Massive siege tanks on the way here for Ziggy, who's playing like a Zerg. He's doing a tricky build, and then he's tech switching. It is still, of course, mech, but there's different types of mech, and it's really exciting to see. But now Bly is going to give him a piece of his own medicine, because there is a dropper lord on the way here, Creighton. And I like it. Drop a few Roaches, and go into the natural, go into the main. Be a nightmare, because you cannot allow Ziggy to keep playing like this. One thing is that Ziggy hasn't got his 3rd down yet, and he really needs it, because this is an expensive build to keep up with. His SCV count is pretty low. We may just see him actually just go for it. He might just go fully all in here. But he's producing 4 tanks at a time. Holy moly.
Wow, 4 tanks at a time is very, very serious. Now, here's that infestation pit that you said Bly needed to do earlier. Grant, is the infestation pit in time to go for that swarm host style you mentioned? Or does it look at this point like he's probably just going to try and get up to hive tech and maybe get some Vipers out, get some, look at some sort of tier 3 tech here?
Yeah, I think you're right with the secondary one there. That he's probably going to let this go into Vipers or something along those lines. They're very good, especially against this sort of composition when they can drop a lot of clouds here to stop the target fire and stuff. I still like Swarm Hosts here. Wow, we're getting Burrowed Roaches. We're getting Infestor upgrades. Okay, I mean, it's Bly. We never know what he's going to do.
Right.
But he is going to go for packaging grounds here to get those fungal growth a la 2012 and make StarCraft great again.
Hey,
so the one Swarm Host that every Zerg player makes accidentally.
Yep. You gotta have it. It's a rite of passage here, fighting against Battle Mech to make the accidental one swarm host because of those hotkeys. Now, really interesting choices from Ziggy here, sieging up the tanks way far back in this 5th base, rather than taking advantage of the fact that Bly has failed to mine out those minerals in between his 3rd base and what could potentially be a 5th base a little bit later. And normally, I would say this favors the defender when you leave these minerals here, because of course, if you're fighting against a Protoss player, for example, charge lots can't get in, they don't have direct access to your main base. Here's that roach drop, by the way, going down. Nothing in the main base right now for Ziggy Grant. But Ziggy's unable to put any more pressure on. Bly actually cleaned out a lot of his tanks in that earlier push, and that actually swapped, so Bly is now in favor militarily as compared to Ziggy. Ziggy actually took a huge loss in the previous engagement. There was so much going on, we didn't have a chance to really talk about that fight too much. 14 SCVs go down here, Grant. Ziggy getting cleaned out back home.
Yeah, this is a real problem. Bly found what he needed to here, and Ziggy's just never been able to take a 3rd. Production's now starting to really halt, because his main is, of course, almost mined out. Bly is sitting on soon-to-be, well, he's tried to get to 4 bases, and Ziggy's done a great job of denying them and keeping himself just 1 base behind instead of 2. Ziggy only has 38 SCVs. He's trying to expand now, but I mean, it's an 11-minute 3rd base for a Terran player. It's not ideal. The good thing is that the tank count is pretty plentiful. There's 9, alongside not too many Hellions, and only 4 Cyclones though. I'm not too sure, because, I mean, what are the Hellions offering at this point? They're good against Ravagers, kind of. Blue Flame does a bit of DPS against anything, but it's not as good as if they were all Cyclones. Now Bly is going into actual Swarm Hosts, seeing that it is now that mass tank style.
Yep.
Mass tanks just cannot deal with it. Meanwhile, we have a naughty Ukrainian boy who's about to really upset every Terran player in the world as these guys pop up, and we'll get at least, I'd say, another 10 more I can see, maybe even more. Yeah, way more.
Man. You know, Grant, I usually make fun of Zerg players who go for burrowed roaches. It's so rare to see it actually do, like, massive damage. But Ziggy's attention is so entirely focused on the other side of the map that it's one of those very rare occasions where the burrowed roaches, and it's just 6 of them. Only 6 roaches clearing out 27 SCVs before they're finally cleaned up. The main base completely, I hate to use if you'll pardon the pun, the main base completely ravaged there, and the natural still under duress as well. Ziggy trying to find a good fight on the other side of the map, but the swarm hosts are here, and honestly, Grant, at this point, I don't even mind the swarm host being used a little bit defensively to drive this away. Great fungal growth to lock down those tanks. Can't quite get the execution on him. 1 tank still alive, but yeah, Ziggy's not going to have any of that. Bly has just won that game. Oh, Grant. Grant. Game 3 coming up. Talk to us about what just happened there. That was wacky.
Yeah, the main thing was Bly dealt with that. He got so ahead killing the Reaper pressure very early. He got that big surround. And that's what makes these Reaper openings just so difficult. If you get surrounded, your opponent has complete control of the map as you try and transition from a position of being behind. So Bly was able to get everything he wanted. He teched up. He got his upgrades. He never really got 4 bases, but he didn't need to because he stopped Ziggy from getting 3 bases.
Yep.
And then he was able to keep the tanks. He was killing them like as they were coming in.
Exactly.
There was never a point where there was 9 tanks sieged up together in a nice concave, just destroying Roach Ravager. And after that, Bly was able to go into that very, very cool composition of Infestor Ravager, where you bile, and then once you fungal growth, and then once you fungal growth, they can't dodge the biles. Death from above. See you later, Terran nerds.
Yeah, it was really, really nice, actually. Really nice. There we go, sorry. Really nice from both players there, but yeah, Bly just held his own very well. I was a little concerned for Bly at the beginning of the game, but it simply did not work for him at all. So we're going to hop in now to game number 3, our best of 3 going, our first best of 3 of the day, going to a game 3. Grant, we seem to have the best of luck here in the EU on the B stream, getting a lot of game 3s here, and I expect Bly to probably take this, but man, if Ziggy's able to pull off the upset here in game 3, that would be just phenomenal. We've seen it once before. We'll see if we can see it again here. Our third map, Death Aura, of course, a holdover map from the last map pool, and a game that these players know really well. Grant, you're having a vision. You're seeing something. Grant, talk to me. What are you seeing from the beyond? What are the spirits telling you?
Proxy free rack.
That's exactly what I was hoping the spirits would be telling you. Now, we have a bit of an overlay issue here.
Retro.
Yeah, my screen says it's Innovation versus Ziggy. And that's
really
not
funny.
Correct at
Control R, I think.
Nope, not Control R.
Shift R?
Shift R. Nope, that doesn't seem to be doing anything either.
Wait,
It's all right,
look,
guys.
There is a way to fix it. There's a way to fix it.
All right, we'll hop in. Definitely not innovation. Let me make a quick update here. I've just updated the Logos mod in my game, guys, which is something new apparently. It's actually Bly. It's not innovation. Wow.
Control X, maybe?
Nope, that just switches the position.
Oh, yeah, of course it does.
Anyway, let me introduce our players here. In the top left-hand side, it's definitely not innovation. It is, in fact, Bly. And his opponent in the bottom right-hand side in the red. Reppin' Terran, that one is correct. His name is... Ziggy. Apologies for the little overlay bug we're having, guys. It's been a weird day on the B stream. Control N. Oh nope, that just gives me the
top one.
The top one, yeah.
I'm on that Google hunt. Okay.
All right, well, no worries. Anyway, we know it's Bly. It's obviously not innovation playing a Zerg here. Bit of a strange thing.
Yeah, someone was messing.
And I'll fix that during the break. Don't worry about it, guys. We'll just hop into the game. Bly going for that hatch gas pool. Standard opener here for Bly, actually. Pardon me. Yeah, gas first into hatch pool. So early gas for Bly here. He will be able to get ling speed out pretty quickly. And Ziggy, as you said, Grant, going for another 3 racks opener. Do you think Bly expects this?
So I think Bly is probably slightly nervous about an actual straight-up proxy rack, which is what I suspected. Try Control Shift N.
Nothing.
Damn it!
Sorry, buddy.
There is a way, I just can't remember, I'm old. Okay, so, yeah, Bly certainly knows there's something cheesy. So typically in these match 3s, because Ziggy has got to map 3 before, against Zerg, and what he has gone for has been a straight up proxy marine, proxy 3 or proxy 4 rep. We're not seeing that. Ziggy is sticking to Reapers, knowing that it worked in map 1, and I don't hate it. He can't make a mistake like he did in map 2, though. He needs to be ready for the Lings to try and go for this round. He has to be more slippery than the Zerg Lings. And so far so good, keeping his Reapers alive, getting a lot of damage down on one of the Queens, which is great, because that could mean some of this energy has to go into an early transfuse.
Yeah.
We are seeing lots of Queens being produced here. And I wonder if Ziggy is just going to go for a very fast third CC here on Death Roar. I quite like it, because it is relatively easy to hold 3 command centers, either in the straight line or the triangle formation. You can wall off with supply depots in a bunker pretty easily.
Right.
But so far, Ziggy doing as he did in map 1 and map 2, getting his CC, continuing to produce Reapers, doing a good job here so far, killing a lot of Lings. Already with only 4 go down, but he's really softened up a lot of Queens as well. And he's picking off quite a bit here, playing very patiently.
Yeah, that's one thing that Bly's done, Ziggy's done really, really well is softening up those Queens, as you said, preventing maybe some more creep tumors going down, and this added pressure, a couple Reapers going down there, nice snipe from Bly, but it does look like Bly has been forced to put these creep tumors up on the high ground, actually, and not able to get any on the low ground until just now. Those low ground will finish up, I think. The Reaper's barely going to get 1 grenade off, but finally, Bly able to push the creep up, and that just makes the Reaper pressure so much worse from Ziggy, and Ziggy's not going to be able to continue this Reaper pressure. You know, Grant, I was able to interview Kelliger a while ago, and Kelliger loves to do this build, of course. And one thing he talked about was, we asked him, like, when do you stop making Reapers? What's your metric? How do you know? And he said, it's more of an art than a science, really. You just kind of have to feel it out and know when to stop making.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, like when you're Yu-Gi-Oh! Dueling, as we all do out in the streets every single day of our lives.
Exactly.
You just have to feel it, and then you draw Exodia, and then you get some siege tanks, and then you win. I'm pretty sure that's how Terran vs. Zerg works. I'm not sure. I'm not a scientist. So now though, Ziggy's did a great job of keeping his Reapers alive. He's only lost 2. He's killed 14 Lings, and he's forcing right now. Look, Bly is only making Lings because he's terrified.
Yep.
So Ziggy is already pulling ahead. He's producing 2 SCVs at a time. Has he gone for that 3rd CC? Yes, he has. I love it. I love it, Ziggy. Really starting to do what I think he needs to do to continue trying to take these games and making stuff happen here, Graham.
Yeah, he's doing a really nice job. And as you said, forcing out all those Lings is a win in and of itself. Even if these Lings don't get a lot of kills, or even if the Reapers don't get a lot of kills on the Lings, it's still great that you're forcing Bly to build a ton. of units that are not drones. Look, if you ask a Bronze League Zerg player, hey, what's your ideal StarCraft game? They'll say, I want to build 100 drones, and then I want to build my first Zergling. And Innovation is unable to do any of that. We can see Ziggy on 40 workers. Sorry, Bly is unable to do that. It's so hard to do it when the players' names are... Oh, Jesus. We'll get this cleaned up after this game, guys. Don't worry. Apologies. Anyway, yeah, Bly has been unable to do any of that, so he's been really struggling here. Lings are going for... He's going for +1/+1 for those Lings, though, which is an indication that he might be going for either Ling Bane or Ling Bane Muta. I don't know if he's got the drone count to support Ling Bane Muta, though, Grant. He might just have to stay on Ling Bane.
He hasn't taken any gases either down in his natural or his third. So Bly just wants to make a shed ton. Oh my god, that wall. He could have gone. He could have gone.
Bly, what are you thinking?
Oh, he's got a chance though to catch some of these. Wow, look at them bounce. They're so pretty. It's like modern art.
It really is.
Zerglings bouncing around like crazy. But so far, so good here for Ziggy. His SCV count very healthy. Plus, of course, the fact that he has the power of mules, Creighton Nelson. And his upgrades tend to get pretty good as well. And one thing that isn't talked about too often is how good Reapers are with like +1. Because they're naturally quite tanky anyway. You give them +1 armor, you give them +1 weapons, and they do start to do some quite good damage to queens. They will decimate drone lines if they get in. And Ziggy's done a great job of keeping them alive. Of course, eventually he will want to trade them out, but for now, Ziggy's in a great spot. We do see the Baniness coming down for Bly now, who is still only on 2 gas. We won't be seeing Spire anytime soon. It is just going to be Ling Bane, as you predicted, Creighton. And this is a fun game. I like this kind of...
Yeah, you know, normally the biggest complaint about Ling Bane is that when medevacs come out, the Ling Bane can't do anything about it, right? It allows the Terran player to trade very efficiently because they can just pick up and drop back down, and that means that Lings and Bane's not going to do much damage because you can always micro those Marines and Marauders perfectly underneath the medevacs. The good news for Bly is that the medevac count for Ziggy right now is at 0. Not a single Ling or not a single medevac out because, of course, Ziggy has gone for this massive factory or barracks and factory count rather than focusing on those medevacs. So that's going to mean Ling Bane is a little bit more effective and might allow Bly to buy himself a little bit more time to get these double expansions up. He's got the macro hatch going down in the main. Looks like he is going very, very heavily into Ling Bane with 2-2 on the way and still no Spire, Grant. Still no additional gases, just 4 gases taken? Not quite enough. Oh, man. This is a big push from Ziggy.
Yeah, Ziggy lost almost all of his Reapers just off camera there, but he's killed 75 Lings so far this game. And now look at what he has coming. How many Banelings are on the field? There's 1, Creighton. 1 Baneling doth not make a dead Terran, is the ye olde saying. I think he's going to get this base. He's doing a really, really good job of pushing in here. His army is looking strong. He is getting done in a little bit by this run by here, but with reinforcements, he should be fine here. SCVs, they're good in a scrap. Push comes to shove.
That's right. That's right.
You can see right now, Ziggy pushing forward. His tank count very healthy. Banelings are on the way. Guess what? No Baneling speed.
Still no Baneling speed. That's a huge, huge problem for Bly here, who really does need it. Now, I will say Ziggy making a couple little rookie mistakes here, leaving that tank completely unguarded now at about half health, meaning if there were Ravagers, they could be corrosive bile down. But honestly, this is looking really, really rough here for Bly, who is going to struggle to save this 3rd base. He's trying to get his 4th base at the 1 o'clock position, but he's not even able to defend this 3rd base right now, Grant. You can't really take another base if you can't defend the ones you've already got. A lot of Banes out, but still no Bane speed.
Yeah, without Bane speed, this is so difficult because the tanks are going to be able to shut them down with good micro here from Ziggy. And he's shown his Marine micro has been pretty solid so far.
Yeah.
And right now, Bly is a 2-base Zerg against a 3-base Terran. Hiccup, that is not ideal. Ziggy's up 30 supply. He's moving in from the flank here as well. All right, Ziggy, when did you stop playing Zerg, mate?
Yeah, he's doing such a nice job, really turning it on. Long distance mining for Bly looks so dangerous. All those drones exposed right now, and again, this base gonna get killed off, not canceled. Bly losing a bit of focus here, trying to get this 1 o'clock base saturated up, but he's not gonna be able to do that at all. Constant, continuous pressure from Ziggy here. He's got twice the army supply, or had twice the army supply. Finally, something goes right for Bly. There were some decent Baneling hits, Grant.
Big counter-attack at the other side of the map as well here, Grayson. We do have a few Lings and Banes getting in. This is what Bly needs. 11 SCV kills. Puts him now back in the lead of the drone count. But Ziggy is still up that base. Bly is not able to transfer to his only alive base up here at the 1 o'clock position, as you said. And now many more. Oh my god, the tanks is getting a huge wave of fire down here onto these drones, long distance mining. And Bly's falling apart a little bit.
falling apart a little bit. You're absolutely correct. And there's the scan, and Ziggy says, oh, that's what you're trying to do? Never gonna happen. And Bly has got to try these counterattacks continually. He's got to try and move in with something. As you said, all he can do right now is try and get some Lings and Banes. It worked last time. It got him a little bit of damage, but he's already so far behind. 54 army supply. Look at the income graph here, just in Ziggy's favor massively over the last 5 minutes. And as you said, Bly right now on 2 bases to Ziggy's about to be 4. Planetary Fortress should be coming down soon at that 3 o'clock position. Well, is the Spire going to help Bly at all here, Grant, or is it too little too late?
No, he's got no money. Bly doesn't have the money. His main at this point almost mined out, or at least certainly on its way down to just 8 mining drones. The natural is still saturated, but it's oversaturated. So Bly only has 4 gas, which is okay for the meter, but you can only really produce 6 or 7 with that, and then just a couple at a time. You're never going to get that big number. And oh my god, the Marines here. As long as Ziggy micros well, good start here for the Polish Terran player. He can't let this big pack of Marines go down. He needs to pick off failings when he can. Force more gas expenditure here so the Mutalists can't come out. Doing a great job, some good target fire so far. Continuing to play to his best. We have a bit of a Ling flank coming in right now, and it looks like Bly's going to go for it.
He is. Yeah, forcing Ziggy to pick up there. The tank getting a couple shots off on the Baneling count. The Baneling count down to just 9 now with a couple more on the way. But as you said, every Baneling that Bly is forced to make is like half a Muta that isn't going to be made as well. The Spire has been done now for a good solid 45 seconds. Not a single flying unit on the map right now. And oh man, this Ling counterattack going to get caught by the reinforcements of Ziggy. Ziggy feeling very confident about his position right now. Even has these Marines in the back trying to grab these Lings from Bly, but Bly's not going to be able to do it. I mean, he's going to try and go for a run by here, and Ziggy doesn't have much back home to defend, but honestly, Bly can't afford to have any Lings across the map right now. It's just going to be terrible. It's just going to be terrible, Grant. Look at these. Look at these target fires.
Overwhelming numbers at this point. I mean, another nice counterattack here. This is very, very good. This is finding great damage here. It will eventually be cleaned up, but it has kind of stifled the... I mean, not even really. He's still up 10 workers, and his army is pushing in. That once again, Bly's only mining base. All of these drones under duress, they're going to get absolutely annihilated here. And now here comes the rest of the boys. Here comes the backup squadron. This base will fall, and Ziggy making great steps to pick up his first series of DreamHack Winter. He's just an inch away from forcing the Ukrainian to tap out here and getting his $125. Just needs to figure out how to close.
And this has got to be, oh man, tanks get caught in the back here. A bit sloppy from Ziggy to leave those tanks naked, but honestly at this point, it takes much more than 1 lucky tank pickoff or 2 lucky tank pickoffs. These long distance mining drones against Queens with no Baneling support here. And can we just point out that Ziggy's been doing an amazing job of grabbing some of this creep, right? How many creep tumors have gone down this game? Let me pop open that. 40 creep tumors have been picked off this game, Grant, and that's insane. The creep spread from Bly completely gone, which means that Baneling speed is like essential. It's not like a benefit anymore. It's just like catching him up to where he needs to be, and taking these fights on the edge of creep for Ziggy is always going to be a winning proposition, even without...
Brave.
Yeah, even without the tanks here. Liberator in the main gets picked off there. A couple diving deep into the natural, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's okay. He only threw away a few Marines here, and once again, I mean, look at the supply, Creighton Olsen. 93 to 177. 2 upgrades for our Terran player. He's producing 10 Marines at a time. He's adding on 2 more starports to really start adding on loads of Liberators, and there's no answer. I mean, there's a few Mutmuts in the air. I mean, there's like 7, soon to be 10-ish. But right now, we already see missile turrets on the way here. Look at this army!
It's massive. It's so scary. And with that's how you can tell what a bad spot Bly is in. 1 Overlord pickoff, supply blocks him. Like, that's how rough things are right now for our Zerg player Bly. This is so good. We've got Marines popping in, and this looks to be maybe the final push of the game, Grant. Even without these tanks in a good position, Ziggy's still able to mow down a 3rd base, pre-splitting these Marines, and he can afford to take some pretty bad Marine shot or Baneling shots because his army is just so out of control here. Bly definitely does not want this one to lose.
Borrow there from Bly, just trying to save every unit he can, but there's nothing left. GG, Ziggy gets his first